This episode on the Sea of Galilee is where the image began of the church as a boat traveling down through the ages, carrying people to the throne of God and to salvation. But it's an interesting boat. Who is the captain? Jesus is the captain of the ship, always. Jesus is the head of the church. Peter is the first mate, we would say. Francis is the first mate today. And there are no passengers on this ship. Only crew. Nobody's along for a free ride. Everybody has something to do on the ship, which is the Church of Christ, sailing down through the ages, carrying as many people as possible to the arms of his Father. The church doesn't always have a smooth sail. I don't think it's having a smooth sail today, in different parts of the world especially. And the problems originate not with the captain, and not even with the first mate, but with the crew. In other words, with us. Because this is not a ship that you row. It's a sailing ship where big winds come along and carry it by its sails to the destination Jesus desires. But we are such individualists that we are people who try to grab hold of the oars and direct the course of our church. Sometimes we do this in the little church of the family. Sometimes we do it in the parish church or in the national church, or even some Catholics try to control the worldwide church by grabbing the oars. But that's not the way the Church of Christ is propelled down through the ages. It's by the wind of the Holy Spirit. And all the church's crew is responsible for is making the sails appropriate to the wind of the Spirit, so the church's forward movement carrying salvation to all will continue. But sometimes we want to control everything. In the big church and in the little church, we want to do things our way instead of the way of Christ. And so when I hear this wonderful description of Jesus coming into the boat, notice he wasn't in the boat when the trouble was going on, but when he came into the boat, the trouble ceased. Our job as crew, and this is what Pope Francis is trying to impress upon us, is to begin to listen to each other within the church so that we work together to keep the church going in the direction Jesus desires it, in a direction which will take in more and more people for their experience of Jesus and eventually their experience of his Father. The church is a ship sailing down the ages. We are the crew. And in many ways, we are responsible for the journey and the ultimate successful docking of that boat. We are not passengers, we are crew. And we have to work together to be able to pick up the breath of the Spirit in the sails of the church. We have to be open to the signs of the time, as the Vatican Council said 50 years ago. We have to listen to the needs of people and answer their needs. There's no exclusion from this boat. We cannot set up certain rules and regulations for who gets on. It's the boat of Jesus carrying us to the Father, and everyone is welcome aboard.